Installing a new shower door system is easier than you think. Before starting, read the instruction manual for your Delta Wilder shower door system. Don't skip parts of the video, as you may miss key steps, and consult the manual for more information. Then, check that you have all the tools required for this install. Don't forget safety equipment like safety glasses, closed-toed shoes, and non-slip cut-resistant gloves. You'll also need 2 people for this install, so make sure to have someone else on hand. Next, you'll want to make sure your shower door system fits inside your enclosure. Measure the height, making sure the distance from sill to ceiling is over 78 inches. Then, check the width of your enclosure, first at the bottom, and then 6 feet up the wall. Most walls aren't perfect, so these measurements most likely will differ. As long as the difference is less than 3/8 of an inch, and both measurements are within our 30 to 36 inch size requirements, this door can be installed inside your enclosure. If your enclosure has an acrylic surround, you'll need to check its wall height as well. This height needs to be more than 72 inches. You'll also need to figure out if there's a stud near the front of your enclosure, as this is critical for an install. Once the center of the stud is found, mark its location at the bottom of the enclosure. Mark 2 5/8 of an inch towards the front of your enclosure. Ensure this mark is over the flat portion of your sill. It needs to be at least 1 5/8 of an inch away from the inner edge of your sill. If after double checking, all these measurements match the requirements, the door can be installed in your enclosure. If you have any questions about these measurements, call or email us here. Each door comes with unique components that work as a system for the door to properly function. Make sure you have all the components listed in the instructions for this shower door system, and that they are installed properly, ensuring there are no stowaways hiding in pieces of packaging. It is also a good idea to tape over the drain as to not lose anything during the install. And be aware, there are 2 types of screw anchors that come with each shower door. One is used when installing into hollow acrylic parts of an enclosure, and a more standard tile anchor for the parts of the enclosure that are more solid, like tile or marble. Tile or marble surfaces should also be drilled with tile drill bits. Regular drill bits tend to crack tiles and should be avoided. Also, be very careful with each glass panel. The glass is tempered, which is stronger than normal glass, but not unbreakable. If hard materials, such as tile or metal, contact the glass, it could damage it and cause it to break. For this reason, please leave corner protectors on the glass until prompted to remove. And only place the glass on soft materials like cardboard or styrofoam when it is not on the shower door track. Lastly, this is important, when cutting the top track or dam strip, it is crucial that you are certain all measurements and marks are correct. A miscut track could completely ruin an install, and is key to a successful install. If at any point you have an issue, call this number, or email us here. To start off, this shower door can be installed to open from either side of your enclosure. For optimal water retention, we recommend the pivot panel be on the same side as the shower head. But make sure you decide where you would like your pivot door and fixed panel on the enclosure before installation, ensuring no obstacles will interfere with the opening shower door when making your decision. On the side you are installing the fixed panel, use a stud finder to mark the edges of the stud on the wall. Use these marks to find the center of the stud. In order to ensure the L-bracket screws end up in the stud, measure 2 5/8 of an inch from this center mark towards the front of your enclosure. Mark this measurement on the wall. Place the front of the fixed glass panel wall jamb on this mark, ensuring it lies flat on the wall and the sill. Using a level, make sure the wall jamb is vertical, and tape in place. Inspect the corners of the shower enclosure. The wall jamb must sit flat against the shower walls and sill. This may mean slightly shaping the wall jamb with a metal file to match any imperfections in these corners. If the corner of your enclosure is rounded, you can use a coin or other round object to transfer this curve to the wall jamb. Then trim and smooth out this line with tin snips and a metal file.
Repeat these steps with the remaining wall jamb. Mark the 4 holes in the wall jamb with a pencil or other marking tool. Remove the fixed glass panel wall jamb. Most shower enclosures are made from either tile or acrylic. If the wall is tile, avoid cracking your tile by using a tile drill bit to drill a 1/4 inch hole at each location. If the wall is acrylic, use a regular drill bit to drill 4 1/8 inch pilot holes followed by 4 3/8 of an inch final holes at each location. Now, insert the appropriate anchors into the previously drilled holes. For acrylic anchors, fold them up by pushing the center of the acrylic anchor while squeezing the clips together. Then, insert the anchors into the drilled holes. Place screw collars over 4 panhead screws as shown. Do not skip these collars. They keep the metal screw from contacting the glass, which could lead it to break. Replace the wall jamb, securing it to the wall with the panhead screws and collars, hand tightening until fully secure. Remove the smaller glass panel from the box
and lay it down on a soft material that lifts it off the ground a few inches, such as the cardboard or styrofoam that comes with your door. Inspect the glass for any damage, such as chips or scratches that could have occurred in transit. If any damage is found, do not attempt to return the panel to the seller. Instead, call this number for a replacement panel. We can help you. With the panel on a padded surface, remove the bottom 2 corner protectors from the fixed glass panel. Install the U-channel onto the bottom of the fixed glass panel. With someone else's assistance, carefully move the fixed glass panel onto the sill. Remove the top corner protector nearest the wall, and position the fixed glass panel into the wall jamb. Make sure the label on the panel is facing into the enclosure. Now, measure the top of this panel. The edge of the glass needs to be 8 1/8 inches away from the sidewall. Your door comes with a left and a right pivot bracket. Depending on which side you're installing on, you'll need to use the correct one. To find this out, slide a pivot bracket into position around the U-channel on the bottom edge of the fixed glass panel. Use the bracket that faces further into the enclosure. With the correct bracket, use a marking tool to mark the smaller screw hole in the bracket. Remove the bracket, along with the glass panel, placing it back onto a soft padded surface as before. If the sill is tile, avoid cracking your tile by using a tile drill bit to drill a 1/4 inch hole at this location. If the sill is acrylic, use a regular drill bit to drill a 1/8 inch pilot hole followed by a 3/8 of an inch final hole at this location. Insert the appropriate anchors into the previously drilled holes. For the acrylic anchor, fold it up by pushing the center of the anchor while squeezing the clips together. Then insert the anchor into the drilled hole. With someone else's assistance, carefully reposition the fixed glass panel into the wall jamb. Again, ensuring the label is facing into the enclosure, and the glass edge is 8 1/8 inches away from the wall of the enclosure. Reinstall the pivot bracket, followed by a shorter flathead screw. Use a screwdriver to hand tighten until fully secure. From the inside of the enclosure, begin to press the wall jamb gasket into the fixed glass panel wall jamb, starting from the bottom and working your way up from there. Do not use metal tools to install this gasket, as metal can damage the glass and lead it to break. Instead, use the provided gasket roller to seat the entire length of the gasket. Trim the excess gasket if needed. Since the L bracket is reversible, find its correct orientation by bringing it up to the fixed panel, with the bracket holes facing into the enclosure. Now, screw the fixed panel bracket into the bottom of the L bracket, hand tightening until fully secure. Place the bracket gasket into the fixed panel bracket if it isn't already in place. Ensuring the bracket gasket is still installed, remove the last corner protector and place the bracket assembly and L bracket over the top of the fixed glass panel. Slide it up to the wall and onto the wall jamb. Don't worry if there's a gap between the fixed glass panel and L bracket, as this is normal and as designed. While holding the L bracket level, mark the 2 holes in the L bracket with a marking tool. Then remove the L bracket. If the wall is tile, avoid cracking your tile by using a tile drill bit to drill 2 1/4 inch holes at each location.
If the wall is acrylic, use a regular drill bit to drill 2 1/8 inch pilot holes, followed by 2 3/8 of an inch final holes at each location. Now, insert the appropriate anchors into the previously drilled holes. For the acrylic anchors, fold them up by pushing the center of the anchors while squeezing the clips together. Then insert the anchors into the drilled holes. Replace the L bracket assembly over the top of the fixed glass panel, ensuring the bracket gasket is still installed. Slide it back up to the wall and onto the wall jamb. Install the L bracket to the wall with 2 of the longer flathead screws, hand tightening with a screwdriver until fully secure. With the bracket secure, peel the adhesive tab and install the L bracket cover. Find the longer of the 2 blade seals. Install this blade seal onto the fixed glass panel, with the blade facing into the enclosure. Locate the 2 pivot bracket assemblies. Note that the brackets are similar, but not identical. The pivot bracket that will be used for the top or the bottom will depend on the orientation of your install. Place the pivot assembly into the base bracket. This assembly should align with the base bracket, while the set screws face into the enclosure. Ensuring not to forget the pivot bushing. Install the remaining pivot bracket and bushing into the L bracket with the pivot washer and screw. Again, with the set screws facing into the enclosure. Hand tighten it with the screwdriver until fully secure. Rotate and align the top and bottom pivot brackets about 45 degrees, and ensure the plastic gaskets are still on both brackets. These gaskets are important. If the metal bracket contacts the glass, it could damage the glass and lead it to break. Remove the screw covers from the pivot brackets. Using a flathead screwdriver, loosen the pre-installed screws on the back of both brackets so they don't protrude into the channel. Take the remaining glass panel out of the box and lay it down on a soft material that lifts it off the ground a few inches, such as the cardboard or styrofoam that comes with your door. Inspect the glass for any damage, such as chips or scratches that could have occurred in transit. If any damage is found, do not attempt to return the panel to the seller. Instead, call this number for a replacement panel. We can help you. Remove the 2 corner protectors on the side without the handle holes. With someone else's assistance, position this side of the glass panel into the pivot brackets, with the edge 6 inches away from the pivot bracket to keep space between the panel and the wall. The sticker on the glass should be facing into the enclosure. Hand tighten the set screws on the back of the pivot brackets. Slowly move the door into the closed position, ensuring nothing contacts the door while doing so, and continue being very careful with the door as not all safety components have been installed. Move the door back to a 45-degree angle, and remove the remaining corner protectors from the glass panel. Install the pivot glass panel magnetic seal onto the outer edge of the glass panel. Ensure the top of the seal is flush with the top of the glass panel, and the angled side of the seal faces into the enclosure. Next, install the wall jamb magnetic seal into the pivot glass panel wall jamb. Connect the 2 magnetic seals, with the shaped side of the wall jamb from the previous section near the bottom of the glass, ensuring the wall jamb aligns with the glass. Carefully pivot the glass door into the closed position. While someone holds the glass panel, loosen the screws on the top and bottom pivot brackets. Carefully move the glass panel towards the shower enclosure wall until the wall jamb is flush with the wall. While someone continues to support the door, hand tighten all the set screws on the pivot brackets. Then, use a marking tool to mark the inner edge of the pivot glass panel wall jamb. Open the door and disconnect the magnetic seals from each other. Remove the wall jamb magnetic seal from the pivot glass panel wall jamb. Replace the wall jamb, aligning it with the previous marks. Tape the wall jamb into place, and use a marking tool to mark the 4 hole locations in the wall jamb. Then remove the wall jamb. If your wall is tile, avoid cracking your tile by using a tile drill bit to drill 4 1/4 inch holes at each location. If the wall is acrylic, use a regular drill bit to drill 4 1/8 inch pilot holes, followed by 4 3/8 of an inch final holes at each location. Now insert the appropriate anchors into the previously drilled holes. For acrylic anchors, fold them up by pushing the center of the anchor while squeezing the clips together. Then insert the anchors into the drilled holes. Replace the wall jamb over the drilled holes and secure into place with screws, hand tightening until fully secure. Reinstall the wall jamb magnetic seal. Bring the bottom sweep up to the bottom of the glass, with the blade side facing into the enclosure. Measure the exposed length of glass between the pivot seal and the inside edge of the pivot bracket. Mark this distance on the U-channel of the bottom sweep, but do not include the blade or overhangs in this measurement.
The mark made should be on the same side as the pivot bracket.
Before cutting, double check the accuracy of this measurement. Then cut the sweep at this mark. Place the sweep onto the bottom edge of the glass panel, ensuring the water diverter feature faces inside the enclosure. From the inside of the enclosure, place the glass panel blade seal on the pivot side of the glass panel. Make sure the diverter blade is pointed towards the fixed glass panel, and that the seal is aligned with the top of the glass. You can now peel the adhesive tabs and install the bracket covers onto the pivot brackets. Measure the distance between the pivot base cavity and the sidewall. Subtract a 1/4 inch from this measurement and mark that distance on the dam strip. Be sure to double check the accuracy of this calculation and measurement. Using a miter box and a fine-tooth saw, cut the dam strip at this mark. Use a metal file to smooth rough edges and clean off any metal shavings. Apply a thick bead of silicone to one side of the dam strip. With the silicone facing down, place the dam strip into the pivot base cavity before pressing it into the sill. Apply a bead of silicone around the underside edge of the dam strip retainer, and place the retainer over the outer edge of the dam strip up against the wall. Make sure the dam strip is aligned with the front of the sill before temporarily taping the front edge in place as it cures. Again, if the corner is irregular or rounded, use tin snips and a file to shape the retainer to the corner. If the dam strip does not lay flat, or the rounded corner of the shower enclosure is too pronounced, contact us here. Disassemble the handle. Reassemble the handle onto the door, ensuring the raised side of the washers are facing into the holes of the glass. These washers are very important. If the metal handle contacts the glass, it could damage the glass and lead it to break. Now, open the door and apply a bead of silicone on the inner edge of the wall jamb, dam strip, bottom pivot bracket, fixed glass panel, and fixed glass panel wall jamb. And there you have it, a brand new shower door system to completely revamp your bathroom. If you still have any questions, please contact us here.